Welcome everybody to another video on Excel in Access. So it's pretty much Excel in training. So this video today I'm going to go over conditional formatting. Now what's conditional formatting? Now conditional formatting applies one or more rules to any cells that you want. So today's going to be conditional formatting in pivot tables. But first I'm going to show you what conditional formatting and how you can use that and apply it to your spreadsheets. Again, it's applying a rule to your spreadsheet or your worksheet to a cell in your worksheet. Now, this allows you to be able to see at a glance details of a cell. For example, if you wanted to see, I don't know, if a value is greater than 5,000 in a particular cell, it highlights it for you, so you pretty much able to zone in on the information that you need and be able to analyze. So right now we have this spreadsheet with a bunch of data, and the data is already nicely formatted. And if you haven't seen my previous videos on formatting, please check it out and let me know what you think. But first, let's go back here. So we have this data nicely formatted, nicely set, and we need to find out some information. I want to find out, let's see, what cells are greater than $1,000. Pretty much sales dollars greater than $1,000. Now I can easily filter it. Here I can put like a little number filter and type, I need values greater than $1,000 and a filter it. But you know what? Let's go a little bit more high functioning. So Excel has this function here called conditional formatting. So I'm just going to click on that, and it has several rules that you can follow. But the first rule I want to do is just find out I want all categories in which current sales is greater than $1,000. So here's my greater than tab. So I hit it. So I go here and I type in what I want it to be greater than. Actually, I want sales, not year-to-date sales. And I want greater than. And you know what? I think I actually want what's greater than 5,000. Let's make it greater than sales greater than $5,000. So you type in the value amount that you want here. And on this section, it pretty much gives you highlighting choices. You can just leave it with a light red filled with dark red text, which is default. And there's other different highlighting texts that you can use. You can create your own. But I usually just default to the first and hit OK. And then here's the information for me. So in red is all the sales, current sales per category that had a sale greater than $5,000. Now I can easily just go in and filter it by color. And so I'm only looking at sales greater than $5,000. And this is the information I want. So I can easily take this and create a chart with this, which is something I'll show how to do later on. I can create a pie chart or a bar chart and use this to emphasize, hey, these are the top selling strollers currently for this week at 5,000. So that's the great thing about conditional formatting, and you can apply many different rules. So I'm going to undo that. And let's see, we can also apply, let's say I want to know top 10 year-to-date sales. Let's go to year-to-date sales. So I want the top 30% in sales year-to-date. So I can go to my top to bottom rules, and of course it has different categories you can choose from. You can choose the top 10 items. If you're looking at just top 10 items in sales that you want to look at, you can click on that. If you're looking for percentages, or maybe you want the bottom 10% or bottom 10 items, or just the averages. So it's got different categories you can choose from. So it's really up to you. I want to know the top 30%. So it brings me up my dialog box, and I'm going to change this to 30. So my top 30% sales in strollers, and I'm going to leave it with a light red. Hit OK, and there you go. And you know what? I want to filter it. I want to see it. So I can filter it. And here are my top 30% year-to-date gross in sales. So there's my information. It's right there, zoned in for me. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. So conditional formatting pretty much allows you to zone in quickly to be able to analyze or get the information that you need pretty quick. So, and there are other rules that you can do. Here are like data bars. I don't really use this that much, but you can, add color to represent values in a cell. And if you wanted to, you can always create your own rules. And if you want, you can clear your rules after you're done conditional formatting. It should clear it out. Clear all rules. So that's pretty much it in conditional formatting. So next, let's move into pivot tables. What is a pivot table? A pivot table is a special type of summary table. It's very unique to Excel, and I actually love the pivot table. You can find the pivot table in the Insert Home tab. It's right here. And I absolutely love this. I use this a lot in analyzing data, especially if you have large sets of data with large sets of headings and there's specific information that you want to see or different ranges of information you want to see. Pivot tables are awesome. Pivot tables are great for summarizing values in a table because, like I said before, it allows you to play around with the arrangement of the data by rotating the rows and the column headings so you can get the specific information that you're looking for. So let's go ahead and create a pivot table from this data set here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new worksheet. And to do that, you can just click on this little plus sign here and it opens up a new sheet for me. So I'm, of course, in the Insert tab, and here's my pivot table. So I'm just going to click on that pivot table icon, and it's asking me to select a range of data. So my data is here, so I'm going to go here. Now, quick rule. When you're highlighting the data that you're trying to select for your pivot table, you cannot click this and highlight the entire set. It's not going to work. I don't think so. What I found is the best thing to do really is just to highlight the data itself, not extra data. Okay, that's extra data I have run on, but just to highlight the data itself and hit OK. So once you hit OK, it takes me back to my sheet, which I'm going to name pivot table. Okay, so here's my pivot table sheet. And on the left hand side, you're going to see a blank grid. Now this is the grid where I'm going to arrange my columns and be able to create my pivot table. So on here, on the right side, are my task panes, which has my fields. And I'm going to bring these fields down into these 4 columns below in order to create my pivot table. So let's say, what do I want to look at? Okay, so let's say that I want to look at per category, current sales per category, all right, for the week for whatever that week date is. So pretty simple. First thing I'm going to do is take my category, and I want my category on the rows column. Now you can put you can put the fields wherever you want, but I want it on the rows column because I want all my categories on this side. And then on this side, I want what the total sales are for the week. So sales dollars. So I'm going to bring my sales dollars. Now, sales dollars, anything that is numeric must be dragged and put in the value field. So I move that into the value field. Now, it defaults to count, so you must format that. So you just click on that button, go to value field settings, change it to sum. Click on number format and change it to currency. If it's a dollar amount, you want it in currency. It's easy to view. Hit OK. So here are my current sales per category for that week of date that I see. Now, let's say I also want to add a little bit more information. I want to know in detail. So this is just giving me a summarized view. This is saying for the accessories for adapters, this is total dollars amount for that week. For general items, no sales. For choice baby category, these are the sales. But what about if I want to know in detail, well, which are the items under these categories that have these sales? So I'm just going to bring down the description and the item numbers. Okay, right, let's see, okay, my item numbers is not trying to pull down. Hold on. There we go. So I have the categories, description, and item numbers. Now you can leave it in this format, but I always find this format really difficult to view and analyze. So I always try to change the design. And the way you change the design is at the very top where you'll see another category that says pivot table tools. And I'm going to click on designs. So here this allows me to kind of format the pivot table the way that I need it. So I like to look at my layout in more of a tabular form. So I'm going to click tabular. So now I'm looking at it in more of a report type of form, almost like a spreadsheet type of form. So now I have my category, the items, description, and the dollar signs. Okay, and I have everything pretty much set the way I want. But I guess I can like change it a little bit. I don't want subtotals. Subtotals kind of confuses the data for me. So these are subtotals, where per category it just sums up the total per category, excuse me. I don't want that. So I'm going to get rid of that. So I go to the top where it says subtotals and I click do not show subtotals. So that's perfect for me. This is kind of the way I want to look at it. I see here I've got a little alignment issue. So what I can do is highlight it and actually go back to the home tab, and in the alignment section, just click on alignment. So there you go. It's aligned, and I can go back to the pivot table design. So it looks pretty good to me right now. So right now I'm looking at categories, item descriptions, item number, and total dollars. And I'm liking it. This is pretty much what I'm looking for. This is pretty much what I need. So my spreadsheet looks great. All right. So that's pretty much what pivot tables does. Now I could arrange this and in different ways. I can probably move category and make category a column. So, here's the item description, here's item number, but it's by category. So, adapters for this item, it had this sales. And on this category, belly bars, here's the sales here. So you can arrange it the way you want to, depending on which information you're trying to pull from this. I think the other way around, the other way I had it was much, much clearer and easy. And again, I want to format the columns, and formatting the columns is simple, just going to the line bar here and double clicking, and that expands the width of the column. One great thing about this is that you can also kind of, if you wanted to add a grand total, you can do that for all the rows. You can add a grand total, which is at the bottom. Actually, I took it out, but I think I'm going to add it on for rows and columns for this particular spreadsheet. So here's the grand total, which is good to have. I always include a grand total. Also, there's just different style options you can choose from. Blank rows, you can insert a blank line after each item. You can remove blank lines. Right now my spreadsheet and pivot table looks exactly the way I want. You can format the pivot table. Here it has different designs that you can use to make it a more professional looking pivot table. So for example, if I create the table and I've got the data information that I want, I don't have to copy and paste it in another spreadsheet and format it. I can format the table right here. And they give you many different style options to choose from. So it's really up to you to choose the option that you want. And so I pretty much like it like this, where the categories is highlighted and then the rest of the information is inputted. One thing you can also do is, if you like, you can change the headings. If you don't want it sum of sales dollars, which is what it does when you put a value into the value column here, it changes the sum or count or average or whatever data field you chose. I just wanted to say sales dollars, so I can go ahead and change that and hit OK. Oh, so it already exists. So I think what I might do is just change it to sales dollars. Okay, so sales dollars. And my fetch item number is fine. Item description is fine. So that's pretty much it. I can banded rows. So it's just pretty much highlighting the rows, making it bolder. You can have banded columns if you want to. making it thicker lines for the columns. So just different style options you can add to your design of the pivot table. So that's pretty much it with the pivot tables. Again, this it's just a great way, a great tool, especially if you have tons and tons of data. It really helps you to analyze the information, and especially if you have tons of data that has different dates value in there. This particular this particular date I'm working with only has one date value, but if you had one that had like a year long of dates and you wanted to see data information for certain intervals, pivot tables are absolutely great, and it really allows you to analyze your data, especially if you had tons of data and you're looking at specific and you want specific information. So that's pretty much it when it comes to pivot tables. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be adding videos weekly. If there's anything that you would like to see in Excel or any tips, please comment below and let me know. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.